Hey y'all, it's Nancy the Handy Scandy. Welcome back for another crafty venture.
And welcome to another episode of Saturday Morning Makes. I missed last week and this time I'm trying to get it up on time, so let's go.
Hey y'all, it's Nancy the Handy Scandy. Today I'm here with Saturday Morning Makes. You can tell that my theme is Halloween. And for those of you who don't know, April is halfway to Halloween, April 30th in particular, obviously October 31st. So we call it Half-O-Ween, meaning halfway to Halloween. So over at Whimsy, we did a Half-O-Ween hop and giveaway that actually just ended. So I want to encourage you, if you've not already gone back to see if you were the winner, hop on over to any of the channels. You can even look down in my playlist and see, because the winner is announced there. And if you are that person, make sure you follow the directions because we want you to get your prize. So in the meantime, I have been at a loss for my mojo. No creativity, things like that. It's been hard. So in the spring, early spring, I made some bunny rosettes and just kind of kept going with that theme. So I'm going to take these out. I have way more than I can ever show you in a video, but just remember that this is Saturday Morning Makes. You use the hashtag SatMornMakes. I'll try to have it on the screen, but you use that hashtag and that will populate a playlist, so you'll be able to see others who are participating this morning as well as in the past, and you can pick and choose who you want to see, what videos you're interested in. I just encourage you to hop along and see everybody, especially the amazing Miss Jill Norwood. She created this whole thing. It was her brainchild, and yeah, so I definitely always want to honor Miss Jill and the ideas that she has, and she calls this Sharing Heart, H-E, capital A, capital R, capital T. I love that. So use that hashtag, and if you'd like to join us, it doesn't have to be a paper craft. Use the hashtag, put up a video on Saturday morning, hopefully. They show us grace if we're not able to get it on Saturday, but that's the plan and that's the intent. So post your video, use the hashtag Saturday Morning Makes, and share what you've created. So with all that being said, I'm going to move these aside and we're going to start with this rosette. If you are not familiar with rosettes, they are simply cardstock that is cut down to a specific size, and you could see all mine were a little bit different, and then it's scored and accordion folded. And I will actually try to have, I have another video up where I did the bunnies, and I think I might even have others demonstrating how to do a rosette, but I'm also working on another one that I hope to have up maybe Monday morning. This is Saturday, it is the 29th of April. So anyway, most of the things that I'm using are from either Ideology or Whimsy, mostly from Whimsy. So this sentiment, I became insane with long intervals of horrible sanity. The circle die, as well as the spider, the tombstone, and the spider web, all of those are from Whimsy stamps. Now the green polka dot cardstock was just in my stash. I have no idea where it came from. I just thought it was fun. I cut it down. I think this is probably about 1.5 inches, maybe 2 inches. And then I accordion folded it at 1/4 of an inch. Most of mine are folded at accordion of an inch, or 1/4 of an inch. And if you're not familiar with accordion folding, let me see if I can show you. So you would go, let me try this side. Now, of course, you don't have to score it, but scoring makes the process easier. So you go one way and then you fold it back the other way. And then again, and then again, and you just do that the length of your strip. Now you'll usually need 2 strips of cardstock that are accordion folded, and you glue them together at the ends, and that's what creates the circle, and then you push it down in the middle and then it lays flat, and that gives you the rosette. But, and again, now keep in mind that this is just off the cuff and it is not scored or anything. You see how my folds got bigger and bigger as I went? You really want to score it if you want a nice looking rosette, which sometimes I don't care and I just do it, but that's essentially what an accordion fold looks like. All right, so it's just real simple, not a whole lot of embellishment, just a couple different elements, of course, as you can see. Now this pattern paper came from, oh my gosh, Courtney, I can't remember the name of your card kit. But anyway, Courtney's card kits were amazing. I wish we could have seen that through a little bit longer, but life is life, and I still have some of the amazing products that she shared with the world. So this particular pattern paper, you can see it's spiders, white on black, and this side is black on white, and then this green trim, this what did we used to call them? Dingle ball. I don't know if that's what they're called. That's what we called them. And I thought that was just really fun, and it kind of tied the whole piece together. Now, let me show you something a little bit, well, I guess it's very similar. It might be a little more simple, but this one is ideology paper. This particular tag, to be honest, I'm not sure where it came from, but I cut it in half. And if you can see, I don't know how well you can see in there. No, you can't, but it's just, I put glue on. So if this is this piece of paper, I put glue here and I slid it in behind the circle, and then I pushed it up. So I would put my fingers in like that and then push them together, and then the hot glue adhered. So it looks like it covers the whole thing, but it just squishes in. Now this spider is from the same die set as the other spider and the webs. And this stamp is from, where did it go? It's from a stamp set, I think it's called Po' Boy. And I truly just had it here, and now it's missing. Here it is. It's from Whimsy Stamps. I have another one made with Poe himself, and I have the Nevermore Raven as well, and I'll be showing you those soon. But that's where this little scene came from. And then I painted it and layered it up, obviously, on the ideology paper. But this rosette has been in my stash for years and years. It was a light blue with polka dots, and I sprayed it with wild honey. And so it kind of gave it that orangey yellow, which I felt pulled out the colors there on the surface as well as the background. And then the blue has kind of a green cast because yellow and blue make green. And I felt like that pulled out the green from the candle. But that is how that one came together, very simply. Now you don't have to use the discs on the back. That just kind of covers it up and makes it clean. But yeah, that is that one. I think it's fun. I think they're all fun in their own way. All right, so let's go with this guy next. Let me move Edgar Allan Poe. This one is super simple. This stamp set, I believe, is called Ice Cream. It's from Whimsy. This is the stitched circle from the same circle die set. All of my circles are from that same die set, unless it has a scalloped edge, and then that is from a different one, but still from Whimsy. Now this is, I think this is just a 1.5 inch rosette, meaning my strip was 1.5 inches wide. I accordion folded 2 of them and adhered them together. So again, from Ideology, and this is just a strip. It was actually an edge, and the edger die was from Pink Fresh Studio. It was just in my stash. And then I backed it all up to cover all the mess and to give it a little more presence with that natural doily. I think that's really cute, and I love that little batty eye. I think it's cute. Bat in your eyes, right? All right, I'm trying to set it aside and not mess it up. Now here's another one, if I can reach it. This one is from that same stamp set, the Ice Cream. And you can see that he's a he's a brain with the skull and the big old cyclops eye. I think he's grotesque and fun at the same time. And of course I had to put a little top hat on him. Again, everything's from Whimsy. This is from, I can't remember the name of the die set, but if I'm able, I will list and link everything that I've used, that I can remember, that I can find downstairs. The Penguin Pizzaz, I think, is what this is from. And then I just did the little hat band. And this gingham paper is also from Whimsy. And this green one is not. And I cannot remember where it came from, but I love it. And you can see that I have this kind of pinked edge. Whoop! The kind of pinked edge, and then the flat black edge. And so this was just one piece of pattern paper that, again, I cut in half and I slid it in there so it would just look bigger. And to be honest, I feel like it might be too big. I don't know if you might be able to see down in there, but you can see where I adhered my strips of paper. And so I have used several edger dies. I just wanted small little trims, and what I did was glue it to the back, and this one again is just a straight piece. But you could have taken a trim like this and done it across the top, and so that black would really pop across the green, and just do it, or you could do both. I mean, obviously creativity is what it is, and there's no right or wrong. You make it how you want it, but that could be really cool. But anyway, I used my my Karin brush markers to do him, and you can see all that different color and texture in there. And this is just a really, really inexpensive cardstock, so I thought I had messed it up and I thought I was going to lose it. But I love it. I think it's really cool, and his eye is really gross, and I've got the crystal glaze on there again. So yeah. And as I go, guys, kind of keep track if you want to about which one's your favorite. Which one do you like the most? So let me switch gears a little bit here and do this little cutie patootie. So again, this one was from my stash. It was a red and white gingham, sprayed it with Rusty Hinge, and I felt like that really pulled out the orange from this black and orange Harlequin. This again is from Whimsy, as is this gingham. And this black rosette this one's more at like a 1/2 inch accordion fold, so it's a little bit deeper. And I will be showing you another one that's even deeper. But these have been sitting in my stash for years, literal years. Some of them I've made over the weekend, the rosettes. Some of them I just sprayed or used as they are. This little guy is from, I believe it's from Mama Elephant. And this is from Spiders and Webs die set. And this is from the Simon Says stamp. It's from their Home Sweet Haunted Home. This was from their card kit last year. But I have a couple different things from this set. And the little, let me see if I have those guys. Whoop. I don't know how well you can see them, but lots of little cutie patooties. That's this guy. And then I have another one coming up with this guy. Super cute. This is a very, very cute, very, very cute stamp set. And that's another one that came out last year. And this is from Not Too Shabby that I've had for years and years. And I was going to use it, but I had too many options and I've had to stop. That doesn't mean they won't show up down the road, but that's just kind of where I'm at right now. I'm looking to see if I have any others over there. But that is that one. So I just used rosettes essentially from my stash and then added elements to that one. And then this one is a little bit more ornate. As you can see, more layers, more details. And you can stop or keep on going. There's no right or wrong. It's your creativity. If you choose to make these, you do what you wish. This pattern paper is from a 12 by 12 book that I have had, I don't know how long, but I thought it looked kind of gothic, and I like the goth kind of Halloween stuff more than the cutie stuff, and I don't like the blood and gore so much. But anyway, I thought it was really cool. Created that kind of fun damask old wallpaper background. And then the cardstocks that I've used are from Whimsy Stamps, as well as the tombstone and the cat and the little crossbars in the back, the spider and the spider web. You see all the detail in that. And even the holly, I just like the jagged edges. To me, that looks spooky and scary. And this little trim is actually leftover that we would normally throw away. It's from a die from Pink Fresh Studio, and you can see it's kind of has kind of like a florally look to it, the die itself. But this jaggedy piece I think is so cool. And every time I use that die, I always save the what you would normally discard. But I think it's really fun. And I put a little bit of orange or yellow cardstock behind his eyes to make him pop on that tombstone. So I think that one's fun. And then some grit paste and just some moss from my stash. I hope you're able to see all that really well. Sorry. All right, so one more down. Let's see what else we can pull over here. I don't want to mess them up. So this one's pretty detailed as well, or lots of layers, I guess. This one's even bigger. It's probably, what is that, 4 inches maybe? Let me see. Maybe it's just 3. And so I have them from 12 inches, well, which would be 6 inches across. So this is a 6-inch rosette all the way. But then I have these teeny tiny little guys too. And I even have some smaller. Oh yeah, here we go. Look at those. How cute is that? and they're all different sizes. So yeah, lots and lots. So let's look at the details here. So this pattern paper is from the same pattern paper as the damask. It has, you can't really see it, but it's a very, very faint script, like a vintage script. And let me see, this is from Honeybee Stamps. Let me move some of this stuff back out of the way. So we're done with Poe. I can set Poe aside for now. That one I didn't get to use. But this is called Burlap, and this is from Honeybee. And I just cut out some black cardstock, and that gave me these fun little, well, little burlappy pieces. And I just tore it. I just really wanted some texture, some pattern in the background. It didn't have to be discernible. This is from, so it's the same green cardstock as was on the skull brain guy with the cyclops eye. I just can't remember where it came from. I want to say Not Too Shabby, but I think that's wrong. But then this particular die was from, I think it's Sunny Studios, and then I just trimmed it down. All the other, now this is from Honeybee, but all the other details are Whimsy. So this is from the, I think it's called the Primitive Shapes. There's stars, moons, hearts. That might be it, but very, very worthwhile set to get. Another stitch circle, and then the tombstone and all these little details, the bats and the skull, all those are from that. And then some more grit paste and the moss, the sisal, and then this pumpkin is from Honeybee, colored up and been in my stash for years. So I'm happy to be able to use some of this stuff that's just been sitting around. So, and I have to say it has kind of kick-started my creativity again, because I just didn't have it. So you can kind of see the details on that. I'm not going to go into each and every one layer by layer, but you can see. The one thing I want to tell you about this is, again, I put kind of a yellowy orange cardstock behind his eyes to make them pop. And then this little trim, I don't know, it's the black and red buffalo plaid, and then I put this same little strip of pattern paper that was on one of the first ones, and I just thought it was a fun little contrast. And again, this rosette and this rosette were in my stash, and this one I just sprayed with black soot. So I think that one's really fun too. In fact, I don't think there's any that I dislike. There's some that I might continue to embellish some more. Now this one is big. See how big that is? This one, this particular rosette, again, in my stash. This one I made new. But this is like 3/4 of an inch, and it's just too thick. So that's why I usually go with 1/4 of an inch, because you can see the difference. This one is 1/4 of an inch as well. Now this was cut with my Cricut, so you can see the detailed cuts there. That's with my Cricut, and it was actually a blue and white cardstock that I sprayed with Rusty Hinge to get that orangey color, and I think it looks cool, kind of an orange on orange. And it pulled out the orange from the pattern paper and from his little trick-or-treat bucket, and then I just added this, and this again was 2 trims. So essentially it was, I don't have, well, I do have another one that shape, but so essentially I glued them together, and then I put a black strip down the middle. So that was it. That's how I got that trim. And then I did a little fishtail, and then some more pattern paper here, and all hot glued together. Now this one does have a disc on the back. That's just how I made it the first time. You don't have to do that. In fact, the ones that I hope to have a video up later in the week to show how to do the accordion folds and everything, and how I put some of these together. But you don't have to put that on the back, and I don't think I did with any of the ones that I've made this time. This one is much more simple. It's another pattern paper from Whimsy. This is the Nevermore from the Poe set, and this again is the holly. I just think the holly, because it's so jagged, I think it has that kind of spooky Halloweeny look to it. And I was able to pull out my raffia as well, and I just thought that the simplicity of that just spoke volumes. And it really didn't need these things. You could have left just the circle on the die, or on the rosette. I think it's very striking. All right, what is next? Well, that doesn't want to stay, so there it falls. All right, let me go again a little more simple. So this is the same pattern paper as before, that damask, And then this is black and white. This is from Whimsy. This is the burlap. And again, another spider, another tombstone. This one I have in a frame. So it's a little bit bigger, has a little more bulk. And then these elements, I think I have at least 2 layers. 2 layers? Nope, it looks like 3 layers on all of them. On the bat, the skull, and the rest in peace. And again, I just used some of the grit paste and some moss from my stash, and I think it looks really cool. I love that. And again, my Halloween style is much more the gothic. While I do like some cutie stuff, I'm really not much into the horror and the blood and gore and stuff like that. So let me see. Oh, this is one of my absolute favorites, y'all. I mean, come on. Isn't that fantastic? So that is from Visible Image. And again, it's just really, really cheap paper, but I sprayed it and I got it really wet. And I just used a couple different colors from my Karin brush markers. And yeah, I just I did the wet on wet technique for the most part. And I love how it turned out. Another of the Penguin Pizzaz top hats, because I thought he just has to have a top hat. And then I layered him up on this cardstock, which is an old Stampin' Up. And this, I don't even know where it came from, but it's that same dye as the green trim that was on the purple paper. It's that same, and it's just left over. Now the Happy Haunting is again from Simon Says Stamp, and then I just used some black thread. I don't know if you guys are familiar with Tracy Evans. She's a designer for All in Create, but she often will use, she just calls it black cotton. It's cotton thread. So it gives just another element. And then this guy was in my stash from the stitched scalloped edge, because that one cuts out a circle and it cuts out the scallop frame. And it was just in my stash, and I thought it really highlighted him. And I don't think, oh, it's actually, I don't know if you can see, it's kind of a blue polka dot paper, but I just flipped it over and used the white side. And I think it highlights him perfectly. Like, it just draws your eye bullseye right into him. Isn't that so much fun? I think that's my favorite, or one of them anyway. Yeah, love. Can't get enough of that one. In fact, while I'm showing the skulls, let me show this other one. This one's a skull too. Same concept. But then I used a half of a rosette, and I made him that ruffle collar. And I took some little feather bits from the bottom of a feather, you know, where it has like the more downy feather bits, and I hot glued them in there. I know. Can you see the movement? I hope you can. And then again, another top hat. So much fun. And of course, he's heat embossed. You can see the gloss. And so we put the glitter top hat and some more of the little plumes. And this particular rosette was from my stash. It was gray and white. I sprayed it with the green. Pistachio. What's that one called? Something pistachio. Or let me confirm. I want to give you the right information. It's right across the room. Oh, it's Twisted Citron. Some of you probably knew that I was way off. Cracked Pistachio is the name of the other, but that's not this. But it really pulled out the greens and kind of the yellows in his face. Again, on very cheap cardstock and colored with wet on wet technique with the Karin Brush Marker Pros. This cardstock was in my stash too. I want to say this is from close to my heart, but then again, I feel like it was just open stock from Hobby Lobby. I'm not sure, but anyway, again, in my stash for years, 12 by 12, and I trimmed it down, and finally some of this stuff is getting some use and some life, and it makes my heart happy. And I think these two are just great. I mean, so very different, but the same image, same concept with the top hat. Fun, just fun. Okay, let me set those aside. There's plenty more to come. All right, now this one is also from Visible Image. It's another one of my favorites. It is the Death Moth, Glimmer of Light. Isn't that cool? And again, Karin Brush Marker Pro. Now this one was a blue and white pattern paper card or rosette that's been in my stash for years. And again, another one cut out on my Cricut. And I just sprayed it with Rusty Hinge. This cardstock was from another card kit. Some More Fun, SUMMORFUN, Some More Fun. But anyway, I thought it was perfect. And then this was an oval, was in my stash. This is just a piece of cardstock that I trimmed down just to add another element, another layer. I wanted the brightness from the yellow, so there's all that. And then just use some, I love this orange and black polka dot, and just some trims, some twines, ribbons. I just thought it was fun. So again, bring it up close, let you see the details. He's one of my faves as well. Okay. Now this one, oh, it's actually wanting to come off. Well, while we're on here, I'm just going to add some glue. So this is that same autumnal pattern paper that the little trick-or-treat, was he a bunny? I think it was a trick-or-treat bunny with an orange bucket. Yeah, so it's the same cardstock, but this one is cut at probably 2 inches. And then this is from Stampin' Up. These are from Penny Black. They've just been sitting in my stash. And this Haunted House is from the same Simon Says stamp set, as well as this little circle. And I just thought it was very different. It's still Halloween, but it has more of an autumnal feel just because of the color palette. But I think it's really fun. Yeah, I think that's fun. I hope you guys can see it okay. All right. And next we'll do, these two are falling out, so we'll do them next. So this one, I actually showed this one earlier when I was doing the bunny ones. I held this little skull up to this black rosette, and I thought, oh, that has to happen. And that's actually what kickstarted this whole Half-O-Ween rosette making tour, if you will. And again, this is a rosette that was in my stash, and I just cut these out of some pattern paper. This one I think is from Tonic. Actually, I think they're both from Tonic, the gold as well as the black and gold. But I didn't want the solid gold frame, and I didn't want the solid black back, or the back with the, because these are like arabesque shapes. But anyway, I chose what I chose, and that's it. And I think it's actually simple in terms of the elements, but I think the pattern and all of the gold and the shimmer, I think it just makes it very impactful. Is that the right word? Yeah, I like that one a lot too. I've said before, there aren't any that I dislike, so you're gonna hear me say I really like it over and over. Now this one is another cutie patootie one, which I don't hate, don't get me wrong. My personal style is more the gothic, but I love this one. So same pattern paper company from Courtney's card kits, because you can see it's black on white, and then this side is white on black. You can't really tell that it's spider webs unless you're up close, but I just liked the black with a little bit of modeling is what it looks like. It's just kind of modeled. And then this is again from that Some More Fun. This rosette I just created, and it was from Whimsy Stamps cardstock or pattern paper, as well as this one and this black and white one and this star. Now this guy is from the, I want to say CC Designs Mama Elephant, and then this frame actually was just in my stash. This again is from Whimsy Stamps, just in my stash, as well as this black disc. So just layer it up. Now this thread, you may have seen this thread. I know you saw the black thread, but this gold, and I have a silver as well. Those are old from Stampin' Up. Old. But they're in my stash, and so I'm using them, right? And it's fun, and it creates just another neat little element, another layer for your eye to land on, and just add the character and the texture that some of these are jonesing for. So let me see. I've got another one that's fallen. This one is super simple. Has some elements that don't belong. Another little ghosty from that same Mama Elephant stamp set. This disc is from Whimsy, as is this one is from Courtney's card kit again. This is from Whimsy, as is this. So just, you know, I love to mix my companies, kind of. The word that just came to my head was shake and bake. I don't know, mix and match, maybe that's the better term. But again, I just used some of that black thread just to add another little layer of whimsy, I'll say. But I think that's really cute. So there's that one. Let me see what else I can get for you. Let's go with this one. This one looks like it has a lot going on, but it really doesn't. This is another one that was in my stash, and it was cut with my Cricut. So it has more details than if I hand cut it, which I did with this one. This one again was in my stash. It's a red and white gingham. I sprayed it with forest moss, and this one I sprayed with the cracked pistachio. This, I felt like it added the drama, and you can kind of see the red in it. So it pulls out the red in the eye and the grunge that's in the mummy wrap. And then of course this just adds some interest. And this green, I felt like sort of pulled out that green, at least around the edges. I don't know if you can tell. I tried to make it more eyeball looking. I hope it was successful. Y'all tell me. I don't necessarily like the way the red worked around the edges, but you know, sometimes you just got to keep it moving. So that's what I did. Again, from the same stamp set as the Batty Eye and the skull guy with the Cyclops eye, same stamp set. Again, from Whimsy, and I think it's called Ice Cream, and I will link that downstairs. It's very fun, and if you like Halloween, that's definitely a fun one to have in your stash. So let me see. This one, super simple. Another one of the little critters, the trick-or-treating critters. This is that same pattern paper that you've seen before, as well as this one, but this is the first rosette made with the black and orange Harlequin, but I love it. And then the black and white stripe again from Whimsy. Whimsy, the die from Whimsy, the paper from Some More Fun, Mama Elephant, and then this is just from my stash. I think I got this in a swap, and I believe it was dyed with one of the Stampin' Up! Ink pads. It's just some, it's called seam binding. Yeah, but that's that one. Very simple, but still very fun, and no less effective than the others, just different. All right, I have 3 more that I want to show you. This one I'm gonna adjust. I feel like it's too heavy on this side. I don't hate this. I love that sentiment. I love that it's stamped in the gray, which I think is really fun. Again, with the orange and black trim behind Ed on this purple rosette, which I think is really fun, and then the spider in the web. I will probably put it on something larger. For instance, probably not this one, but perhaps this one. Could put him on there, and that balances him out. Or I could use that side because this is a double-sided. I think that is a little too much orange. Sorry, I think that's too much orange in my opinion. That one might be better. What else do I have that I could use? Oh, even this one I think could be big enough to, but then I lose too much of the polka dot, and the polka dot's my favorite. What about this one? That one could work. Yeah, any number of them could work. I kind of like the idea of making it more into the goth. So as you can see, these rosettes are much bigger, but that's kind of cool. That could be really cool. In fact, I think I like that one. I like that dark juxtaposed to all the brightness on the front one. This one looks like it's calling out for like a bat or a tombstone, or both of those, something just more dark. But again, that's the goth stuff that I like. So that's Ed. I like him. He's just not done. But again, sometimes you just got to quit. Now these are my last 2 that I'm going to share. Again, this one's very simple. Just the pattern paper rosette. Again, from Whimsy. This one is from Whimsy. The sisal adds so much. It just adds so much to it. And a simple little disc cutout of this pattern paper and the Trick or Treat. This is from the Simon Says stamp. And then just a little bit of baker's twine. And oh, I forgot to tell you guys, all of the skewers, the sticks that make them into wands, they are just kebab skewers. That's it, from the grocery store. So one more time, another sweet little guy from that stamp set, the Halloween trick-or-treaters from Mama Elephant. 2 more pieces of trim that I just glued together, a little frame from my stash. Created this teeny tiny little rosette. Of course, you can see that I layered it on the polka dot and the doily, but I thought this little frame that was just in my stash and it was just getting bent up and bruised, I just added it on there as another element. It really doesn't have a purpose. It kind of brings your eye in a little, but it just adds another layer. And then of course the doily. So that is all I'm going to show. You saw a hint of some others that are kind of off to the side, but obviously I can't bring them all in. There's just too many, but I will bring in some of my favorites. But again, guys, if you were keeping track, if there are certain ones that you really liked, let me know downstairs. Let me know what your Halloween style is. I know Halloween isn't for everybody, but for those of us that like it, I think we really like it. Again, here's Ed. He's going to be modified in some way, but I'm going to stop. I'm not going to bring anything else in because visually that's a lot to handle already. My 3 favorites right there. But I like each one of them in their own right. So I have so much more to do. I have so many more to share. I'm going to show you this last one just to stick it in the camera so you can see how big they can get. You see that I mean, that's a bear. Old Stampin' Up! Cardstocks that finally have a life. So you can see that the stripes aren't quite right. That doesn't bother me. I don't care. These will likely be hung from the ceiling as a display or mounted to the wall. But so much fun. And again, I thank you guys for joining me. Drop your comments downstairs. Hop along and see all the others participating in Saturday Morning Makes. And until next time, guys, this has been Nancy the Handy Scandy. Mwah! I'm out.